after I made that one video about the narcissist and everything, I feel like I just want to. I've been struggling with this hurdle for a while, like trying to be more personable on social media and be more personal about, um, my goals and what I want to do and everything. So I feel like story time day today. It's rainy. I was gonna go out busking, but I didn't. Um, so this rainy internet day, I'm gonna not do. I'm probably gonna try to focus on doing music a little bit more in a week, but right now, just story time and chill, I guess. But I'm I've developed the worst trust issues ever, right? I love music, I love being entertaining, and I've been pursuing entertainment for a long, 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 long time, right? When I was a kid, I just did it as a hobby because I loved it. Singing, always singing. There was always music around me, always music around me. Half my family are very musical people, like singing and dancing and rapping, all of that. So even if they're not like at a professional level, I feel like I have an entertaining ass family, and I can see them doing this as much as me. But I just want to be. I'm just trying to be as transparent as I can, right? So I started like when I was younger. I used to do like all types of like dance showcases and block parties and talent shows and all that stuff, right? And then like when I got older, um, when it was time to go to college, I did go to college. I went to a regular conventional college because, um, you know, being around people who are entertaining, of course they try to be in the industry, but it's very tough. It takes a lot of skin to be in the industry, like the entertainment industry. It was mainly music and stuff though, but I was dead set on trying to do music my whole life. And when I went off to college, my family were like, look, cool, cool, cool. We love that you love music, but make sure you have conventional practical skills just in case it doesn't go your way. I was set on this shit is gonna go my way. I don't give a fuck. I don't. But I was like, okay, you know what? I'll take your advice. Right, right, right. So, like I said, I always try to keep some transferable, employable skills, right? So I always focused on trying to do the conventional things while I was following my dreams. But now it's coming to the point where it's like, I don't know. So I went to college. For my associates, I went and got a typical liberal arts degree, right? Typical liberal arts degree, all that other stuff, but I always made sure I had fine arts in my, anytime there was an elective, I always made sure it was fine arts based, whether it was art, like visual arts, or I'm writing something, or I'm learning an instrument, or I'm learning about a musical period. I always made sure there was some kind of fine arts in all of my elective, right? So I got I would start pursuing my associates and stuff, but then like in the middle of it, that's when I started doing like little stuff, going to auditions and trying to get into commercials and doing plays and doing open mic nights and trying to do all that stuff, right? And I just feel like, I'm doing it at a level that anybody can, right? So I'm like, I gotta do something different. What else can I do that's different, right? So I'm like, you know what? Oh, music school, right? So I started applying to all these music schools and stuff, and I got into an entertainment industry school in Florida. So I'm sitting there and I'm training and I'm learning through all of that and stuff. And at the time, the boyfriend that I was talking about in the last video, I was with him and he came with me. And I guess that's why I bonded, because even though people were telling me, "Oh, you got to be more practical. You probably can't do this," he was supportive and he was also following his dreams. My ex, like I said, I could never be with him again. But he's actually a really decent visual artist. So we just always was tackling it side by side. He'd be like, all right, you do the art part. You do the music part. I'll do the art part. And we would sit there and go to galleries. He'll have like his painting simulation as I'm singing and playing guitar and shit. Like, all little stuff like that. But I'm like, yeah, this is fun and everything, but I feel like I need to push it, right? So I went to that school, and he came down there with me, and I tried to get him to apply to the school, but he was like, no, they don't have anything to teach me. I was like, are you sure about that? They probably do have something to teach you. He was like, no, 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 they don't match my art skills or whatever. So I'm with this man while I'm going to school, and I could see it more and more every day. Him getting upset, him getting resentful, all this other stuff. And it's like, we got into an argument one day, and he was like, it's just funny that I'm sitting here and I'm busting my ass and I'm working, and you get to go and do what you love all day and just play around and play music all day. Like, you're sitting there, acting like it's so hard, but you're doing what you love. You just get to play around and play music all day. And I got so pissed off because, yes, he was working, but I was also working. I had a job and two internships on top of dance practice and my fucking bachelor's. And you telling me I'm just sitting there having fun all day? No. So we used to get into it because of that. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I actually went through burnout because of it. I was not sleep. I slept on Sunday, right? So I was out here sleeping on Sunday, probably 8 hours of sleep throughout the 6 day, throughout 6 days a week. Sitting here, 2 hours of sleep there, an hour and a half there, 4 hours there. Like, if I got 4 hours of sleep, I always felt refreshed. Like, oh my God, I slept great. Like, you slept for 4 hours. I was like, it felt refreshing because I was on some time where I was like, I put so much pressure on myself. I actually was getting so deluded. I was like, you know what? I wish I was part machine or something so I could just do everything I need to do and just complete all my. I put way too much pressure on myself. Like, way too much. I was just always trying to do something. Like, so I'm sitting here doing all this, my bachelor stuff, and my two internships and my jobs, going to auditions, trying to get into dance practice, auditioning for commercials, auditioning for movies, auditioning for music videos, auditioning to try to get into a fucking music studio. Whether I was trying to be the songwriter or the singer or the producer, I was just all over the fucking place, and I burnt myself out so bad. And then after that, I burnt out, and I started having issues with school. And our landlord, he did us so dirty. Like, we had code enforcement come to our apartment. He drafted up a fake eviction notice to get us out of the apartment, and I lived 2 hours away on the bus, so I'd be like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, taking the bus for 2 hours, waiting for a half hour for class, because I'd rather be on the bus for 2 hours and show up half hour to an hour early than to be late. And I put way too much pressure on myself. And I just felt like I had to do this. I had to do this. I didn't feel like I had the support I needed. So I was like, I got to be the support I need in every fucking way. And I think that's why I trauma bonded so much to my ex, because wasn't he wasn't always treating me right, but he was supportive about me going and taking opportunities and stuff, right? And I think that's why I gravitated. But then being at that school made me realize I want to be around somebody who is not going to try to limit me because I'm working in a high intense, um, fast paced, high energy career. You know, some people can't handle that. Do you really think you can handle being with someone who is always, well, I'm not gonna say always working, but working most of the time, and then like you might not see them for months on end, and then if you do, are you willing to uproot everything you love just to be traveling all over the place and leaving and waking up at 6 in the morning and catching and going to the places at 3 o'clock in the morning and being there till noon and shit, like all that? It was a lot. So everything fell apart with my school stuff because our landlord did us dirty, and our landlord did us dirty, and I there at the school that I went to, there's a part of the course where it's like they were trying to prepare me for at the end of before graduation, you got to pay for a bunch of shit out of pocket, and it's expensive. So there is like a finance training on how to handle large amounts of money and how to make sure those payments happen and everything. And I was going through that, and I was learning the process and everything. But the more I was getting like that, the more I was arguing with him, the more we was not getting along, the more he started cheating on me, and the more he started disrespecting me in public in front of people, all this other stuff. So yeah, I kind of started cheating too, and I didn't. I feel like the person I was cheating with, they gave me what I felt like I needed that I wasn't getting from my ex. But I feel like if you feel like you gotta find something from somebody else when you're in a relationship, just leave the relationship. Cheating is not worth it. It's not. So all that stuff happened, right? And afterwards, after I left school, me and him came back up to New York. And I was like, I can't stop there. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. So we go to Brooklyn. I'm from New York, but I'm not from, well, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm from New York. We moved to Brooklyn for like a minute, right? So while I'm in Brooklyn, I'm sitting there looking for a job, trying to get a studio position, all this other stuff. I was like, you know what? I can still do this even though I'm not in school. Da, 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 da. So I'm sitting there going to all these studios, giving them samples, giving them EPs, giving them all this stuff, showing them my songwriting examples, showing them the fact that I went to the school and everything. And they're like, oh, it's cool. We love what you're doing and everything, but we feel like you need a little bit more practice, and maybe you should finish that degree, right? And I was just like, I'm not prepared to do that yet. I still didn't finish the degree, but I feel like that wasn't the path for me. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen through all this? So every studio intern position or I was applied to be a studio writer. I was applying to be a PA, production assistant, all that stuff. So they're like, yeah, your work is good and everything, but it would be even more amazing if you finish that program. And I'm like, yeah. So I was like, I can't get down there right now. So I started applying to an NYU program. And that one also is like, you got to do like payment plans. It's going to be a little bit. So, I mean, but this is before free college in New York, right? It was going to be a lot of money. So I was like, damn, I can't afford that. Right. So I'm like, yeah, maybe I should go back. So I'm sitting here wondering how to get into a different program, transfer my credits, all this other stuff. But the more I started doing that, like, again, we were arguing, and he would get upset because he's like, you're being too controlling. I'm the man. Da, da, da. Let me take the lead. So I started being more submissive. I started letting him take the lead, but the more I let him take the lead, the more everything just started falling apart, and we ended up in dire situations all the time. So after Brooklyn, after everything that happened in Brooklyn, me applying to all these studios, I just broke up with him, right? Oh wait, no, before we went to Brooklyn, we were in my hometown, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I gotta figure out how to keep doing this because I'm not gonna stop pursuing pursuing just because I'm not in school. So I'm like, okay. Before I even did the studios and stuff, I'm sitting here trying to be in music videos and trying to be on people's features and trying to write songs for people, trying to make beats for people, all this other stuff. And sometimes I did a little bit of stuff, but I don't know. It gets really competitive, especially when people see that you have an edge of some like experience and stuff. It gets very competitive, and sometimes people will purposely not work with you just because they already knew that you have a competitive edge that they don't. It gets very. Sometimes people get petty, and then sometimes it was my fault where it's like I have all this chaos and drama going on in my life all the time. And I'm sitting here and I'm trying to show up to opportunities, and I'm always in drama, and I'm always in a dire situation. And sometimes people could see that. A lot of times they couldn't see that because I just put a smile on my face and say, "Yeah, we all good, it's fine." But I was going through some bullshit. Right. And Sometimes I would show up and they'll be like, oh my goodness, you do not seem prepared for anything. You're half dressed, the clothes look sloppy, your hair is a mess, it's just all over the place, crying. Like, and I met a lot of people along the way, right? So then that's one part. After that, we broke up, and I was like, I went back to parents' house, and I'm in my parents' house, just crying in my bed, depressed all day. And then I was like, no, we're not doing this. Shake this off. So then I was like, you know what? Just get a job and work, right? So that's what I did. I just tuned everything out, got a job, and worked. And then I started seeing, oh, music conferences. So then I start attending music conferences. I went to a music conference in Atlanta. I've been there, what, 3, 4 times? A music conference and festival in Atlanta. I went there and I met some more people, right? So I met some more people and I started, like, shopping my songs around. Well, trying to shop my songs around. And I kept getting a lot of different advices, and they're like, you know what? Don't stop this. Keep this up. Like, there's a lot of people that started out like you, and it might seem like it's insurmountable because we could tell that you came from some different circumstances, but keep it up, and you never know where it could go, right? So I'm sitting in there, and they're like, I met a couple A&Rs. The A&R told me that I I need to get more professional sounding work, right? So I'm like, he's right. He is right. Like, I need a better mix, something, right? So the last time I went to the conference, I felt so prepared. I had decent mixed beats. I had decent work. I had a single, all that other stuff. But on my way, oh, on my way there, a person I met at the conference, I was going to go meet them. This was like a couple years into it. I was going to go meet them. This is the last time I've been to the conference. It was like, what, about 2 years ago? 2.5 years ago? Like 2.5 years ago. Right, so we go to the conference, and yeah, so this part, I don't even know how I feel about this part, but I met somebody who was around the music scene. I'm not gonna say their name. I met somebody who was around the music scene. Everybody knows this person, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm not even in music like that. Like, I just came here because I enjoy hearing music, but I'm not a manager or a talent scout or any of that. I don't know anything about it. I just love music." Right? So I'm like, "Oh, cool." And because I didn't have my proper references and work, I wasn't really sharing. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this experience go to waste. I'll just go here as a plugger, and I'll connect with artists and put artists on. And my friend that I was with, also an artist, I was like, you know what? Since all my stuff got taken, my laptop, my NPC, I had songs I've written, stories I wrote, fucking my wigs, my shoes, my clothes. They took everything. Luckily, I had insurance on my bag for my clothes, so I got all my clothes back. But my wigs, my shoes, my NPC, my laptop, my other phone, with all the professional sounding tracks, gone. The stories I wrote, the songs I wrote, gone. Right? So I'm like, fuck. Gotta start from scratch. And the only phone I did have left had all the dirty dishes on it, all the non-mixed shit. I was like, damn, I can't go around showing people my work and it sound like this. I need more professional sounding shit. So I'm like, damn. So the person I was with, an artist, I was like, all right, I'm gonna be a plugger and I'll just push her shit. And the person that I ran into, like I said, they were like, oh, I'm not in music like that. But they ended up being in music like that. And they were like, they're very professional. And we were not at, I don't know if I wanted to say the name of the conference. So we were at one conference and they had a ticket to another conference. Very well-known conference, right? So they were like, okay, I got this ticket, and we went to a brunch with a person's team. I'm not even gonna talk about that either. So we went to a brunch with a person, with that person. This person knows this person that I'm talking about. It was so the person that we were with, everybody in the industry knows them. But the place that they took us to for the brunch, everybody knows the person who's ahead of that brunch even more. And this person was a very big on the other conference that we were going to. This is Atlanta. They were very big on organizing the other conference that he had a ticket to. So I'm like, all right, at this conference, yeah, let's just keep networking all the stuff. Right. So we go to the venue, and they're setting up stuff for the vendors there. But at this brunch, there was artists, producers, singers, writers, actors and actresses, liquor brands, all that shit. And the person brought us. I don't even know how. You know what? Fuck it. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Ooh, I start making this video and I ain't think about it. I just feel nervous about what I'm gonna say right now. So we went to the person. Let's call this person Giovanni. Okay. So Giovanni brings us to this brunch. Giovanni brings us to this brunch, and the person that was ahead of the brunch, like I said, way more well known. Everybody knows who this person is. The person who was ahead of this brunch was not there, but his right hand woman was. The woman that knows everything about what he's doing and plans all this other stuff, and a lot more other people on this person's team were there. And so Giovanni lets me know that, this is a great opportunity and you should keep doing what you're doing, right? And this person's right hand woman and this person's other protege assistant were inviting us to an after party after the brunch, and Giovanni's just like, no, we're good, we're going to the club. I was like, but that's so cool. Who would not want to go to a party with that person? That, I feel like we're about to make it. We can make a deal, be on top of that. He's like, trust me, we're going to the club. We're going to the club. We're not going to that after party. I spared you. Thank you, Giovanni. You know who you are. So we go to the club. We go to the club, and there's show promoters, all this other stuff, and my friend is trying to get a performance deal happening, right? So the show promoters start giving us all these drinks, all this stuff, and I'm just double fisting shots and drinks and blunts. So I'm inebriated. Very, very, very inebriated. Could barely talk or walk straight. I was like, you need to be legible to know what's going on in that fucking contract. So I'm gonna get smashed for both of us. So I'm sitting there, we're in the club, and there's a person that was from another coast. They were all the way from Cali. I'm not gonna say that person's name either. It's not an artist or anything, but we bonded her, and Giovanni basically held our hand through all of this, and I feel like Giovanni spared us from a lot of stuff. So then after everything happened with that, me and the artist that I was with, we had a major fallout, and I was supposed to be on the songwriting team for this artist, but after our major fallout, we lost contact. I haven't heard from that person, and I just felt extremely betrayed. Like, this is not the first time So I felt extremely betrayed. Once again, I came back home depressed. Because the way the shit came, I was trying to move to a whole nother state in order to be on the songwriting team. I was working I was working like 30-hour shifts and shit. 25-hour shifts. Like, just trying to get an apartment, trying to get myself established down there. I was living in a fucking, well, actually, first this person let me stay at their house. Beautiful fucking house, right? And then I started staying in a hotel because I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. So I started staying in a hotel. I'm like, I'm just gonna get myself right down here, but it didn't work out. A bunch of drama happened, and I'm back at Rent's house again, right? I'm still like kind of here, right? And then after all this stuff, I just felt like I was struggling to kind of adapt. I feel like I had so many different experiences that I don't know. I've been struggling to adapt to being normal. And I'm still struggling to adapt to being normal. And I had to say all this because I feel like it's necessary. This is Jakira. I'm Jakira. I'm Kira. I'm Kira. And Kira's been working. And Kira's been through some bullshit. So I'm just still, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I've been through, and there are people that want me to succeed, and then there are people that want me to shut up and fail. But I'm not going to shut up and fail. I'm gonna keep pursuing what I'm supposed to be pursuing. It's been horrible trying to keep a 9-to-5 job. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I should just focus on being entertaining and doing social media. And if I do get a 9-to-5 job, I feel like I have to be in a major city. Like, I'm in a small city right now. I can't be in a small town or a small city. I gotta be in a major city because there's a lot of people that will do anything to get opportunities, and I don't want my life to be further impacted by the people who will do anything to get opportunities. I feel like I've suffered enough from people doing anything to get ahead, and I'm just trying to protect my own neck and do what I love. That's it. I don't want to be involved in drama all the time. I just want to do what I love. And even if people do care about me, like, it's to the point where I feel like I don't even trust being in a relationship at this point. Like, I spent my entire 20s trying to be in a relationship while I was following my dreams and keeping a 9-to-5 job, and I just got overwhelmed. Like, now I'm just like, I quit 9-to-5 job. I quit trying to be somebody's girl, and I hire myself to follow my dreams. That's where I'm at right now. Like, if I do end up making a connection later on down the road, fine. But right now, my heart is broken. This industry broke my fucking heart. And I just want to do what I love. I just want to do what I love. That's it. And like I said, yes, I'm Jakira, and I'm gonna keep being who I am. I'm not trying to be somebody else. And all I can do is be myself. And that's all I've been trying to do this whole time. So I just gotta be who I am, be honest about everything. I try to keep this part to myself because I know how people are. But it's getting so weird out in public for me, I might as well talk about it. So that's where we are right now. And with that being said, I'm off this. Bye. Deuces. Peace.